Thank you, Mr. President. I always enjoy these bills, these ideological bills that we come down here and, we talk about how great they're going to be and how much they're going to do for our state. And, I never see any real results from them. When I got elected to come down here, I really believed that everybody was down here to try to do the right thing, try to do what was best for the state. And here's a perfect example, Mr. President, of a bill that is bad for this state. But everybody who's here, everybody's been here, whether you've been here for 10 years or 10 weeks, is an expert. They're an expert on education. We don't want to listen to all the people who actually are experts. We're going to supplant our judgment for them. But let's think about who's against this bill, see if it makes any difference. West Virginia Department of Education, the Board of Education. Every superintendent in the state that I've talked to, with a couple rare exceptions that I've heard about. Clay County Schools held a special meeting to condemn it. Every West Virginia teacher that I've spoken to, public school teacher, is against this bill. Every school parent that I've spoke to is against this bill. 999 of 1,000 emails I've gotten are against this bill. But we're going to use our judgment, our expert judgment in education and all the time we spent down here. We have educators down here who are against the bill, but we're going to ignore them too. I asked for emails from positives for this bill. I got one. The senator from Summers forwarded me one. It was the only one I got that said support this bill out of more than 1,000. Every retired school teacher that I've spoken to is against this bill. Joshua Weinshart, who's a WU College of Law professor and the J.D. Rockefeller Professor on Policy and Politics in West Virginia, is against this bill. But we know more. We're educated, right? We all have experience in education. Now, with the exception of my friends from Monroe and Upshur counties, let's see who is for it. Mr. President's for it. Don't see him now. The majority is obviously for it, again, with the exceptions of my two friends from Monroe and Upshur. The two national consultants whose entities promote for ideological and for money reasons charter schools are for it. Those who are going to make a little money, put a little money in their pocket, they're for it. No one within the West Virginia education system who has any experience in West Virginia education is for this bill. Now, I've heard we're ranked 47th, and I never could figure out where that came from, but I finally figured it out. ALEC, the American Legislative Executive Council, ranks us 47th. I have put on your desk, and haven't heard a word from it over there, put on your desk 2 days in a row, the ACT rankings in the United States for 2018. West Virginia came in 30th. Not the top, but certainly not the bottom. But you know who is the bottom? What 15 states are in the bottom? 15 states that have charter schools. But we know what's best. We are the education experts here in this body. We've talked ad nauseum about charters and ESAs, how they're going to defund public education. We're going to ignore those facts. We've talked about how wrong the anti-severability clause is to put our teachers' pay raises at risk because we want this bill, even though, from the ones I've heard of, are willing to give up their pay raise to kill this bill. That's how much they disagree with it. We've talked about how the designs of the charters favor the rich and elite children, and they're going to give them a good education, but as my friend from Braxton pointed out, the other 90%, the heck with them. The potential for fraud in the ESAs, we're going to ignore all of those facts because 44 other states have charter schools. Most of them, the successful ones, the ones that survive, are in large metropolitan areas. The ones in the rural areas, they pointed out one example in Alabama. It's been open for 6 months. And the public schools down there, the superintendent said it's a war on education by these charter schools, but we're going to ignore that too. Nobody here, the people who wrote this bill, have any experience with education in West Virginia. We're going to use our experience. The only people we have with experience on the majority side got taken off of the committee that wrote this bill. We've ignored the ones on the minority side that have headed up education and work in education for decades. But we've been through all that, and it's not going to make any difference. To me, the choice is clear. To me, if you really believe in our state, and if you're really here to do what's right for our state, not yourselves, and not your ideology, and not your party, if you truly believe we're here to help all students, if we're here to help teachers educate our children, if you believe that we're here to help people obtain the American dream, if you truly want to help our state, then the vote is easy. The vote is easy because it's against this bill. Only special interests benefit from this bill. Not public education, not the majority of West Virginia children, special interests. Now, if this bill passes, we're hypocrites because we claim to be the saviors of public education in this state, but what we're actually doing is help destroying it. Mr. President, I urge a no vote on this bill.